Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For those of you that are new here, my name's Caitlin. I am a new mum. I have a background in health and fitness, and I just like to make videos on life, more specifically about life as a new mum at the moment. So today marks 4 months since giving birth to Harlee. I thought it would be a really cool time to document where I'm currently at, what I've been experiencing the last 4 months, just what headspace I'm in and how I'm feeling about everything. Yeah, so like I said, Harlee is 4 months old today and we have had a very challenging morning. I know everybody said 4 months sleep regression. It's not just their sleep, it's just they're developing so much and they're just so clingy, and I guess they find it hard to settle themselves because so much is going on. Totally fine. I'm ready for it. I'm her mum. I'm so willing to be there for her 24/7 whenever she needs me. I didn't realize it was going to be the flick of a switch the day she turned 4 months. We were on. So that's my experience with that. So I can't comment too much more on it because we've not really entered into it yet, but this morning has been challenging. So I just wanted to document what my experience has been so far. I try and think back to that first month of being a new mum and it's a blur. I really don't remember too much. When I gave birth to Harlee, I needed to have an episiotomy because my labor was so quick. I was induced. I had dilated 5 centimeters in an hour. I had my waters broke at 9 a.m. Well, just before 9 a.m. and I was plugged into the oxytocin. My contractions started immediately and I gave birth to Harlee at 12:30. 3.5 hours after my water's being broken, I had my baby in my arms. Very full on. Because my labor was so quick, they had to do an episiotomy to help get her out, to make some room. So that first month I was super sore. I obviously had stitches and it was quite uncomfortable getting in and out of bed, standing up, sitting down, walking, being in the car, all those kind of things. Everything healed well in terms of like the cut and the stitches and everything. But one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video is that I obviously haven't quite fully recovered yet, is it's very painful for me to have sex 4 months on. So I'll talk a little bit further in depth about that shortly. When I had Harlee, she was born on the 16th of March and the global epidemic was going on and we went into like our phase 2 lockdown, I think it was, a week after she was born. So things got pretty real pretty quick for me. When I was pregnant, I thought I was going to have this amazing social life where I knew that you're home a lot, and it's not that, it's just I thought I would have visitors and that you never anticipate that you're going to be extremely nervous and anxious going out anywhere or seeing it. Like even if like my family came over, I was just like, oh my God, like where have you been during the week? Who have you seen? Who have you been in contact? Like it was a very anxious time. I was 100% paranoid.
All I can do right now is put on a brave face.
Totally paranoid. Even now, it's still not what I thought I would have. The visitors that I have had are just like super, super, super close friends, but people that are still my friends that I thought I would have been in contact with, like I've maybe seen them once and a lot of them I haven't even seen at all. So that was really challenging. Not that I didn't think that I don't have support or anything. I guess it's just I had an expectation and that's not what I've experienced because of what's going on in the world. If you're a new mum, and I don't even know if it's the same when you have more children, but you do kind of wrap your baby in a bit of cotton wool up until they have their 6-week vaccination because you would never forgive yourself if anything happened to them. So you want them to be immune and vaccinated. So combine that with a global pandemic, which even though it's not something that was attacking babies or really even children, it it just was a really anxious time for me. And this is just my journey, this is just my experience. I don't believe there's a right or wrong to be talking about this. This is just how I have felt. Yeah, it's not that I've not felt supported. Like, I have the most incredible fiance and amazing mum and a really great best friend. Between those three people alone, I've had so much love and support. I know that there's so many people that if I reached out to them and said that I needed help with anything, like, so many people would just be there in a heartbeat. But I guess it's just more the social side of things that I'm a bit sad. I know a lot of people who had to cancel baby showers that had a very different experience birthing their baby than what I did. And I got all of that, so I'm super grateful for all of that. Yeah, just to document sort of that first month. So yeah, having a global pandemic on top of that wasn't something that is nice to go through for anyone, let alone when you're bringing a new baby into the world. I have loved breastfeeding. I wouldn't say I've had a challenging experience. I think it's just those normal doubts, like, am I producing enough milk? Initially, I had a huge supply. But if you don't eat enough that day, or if you don't drink enough water that day, or if you're too active that day and you're doing loads of washing and you're too busy, it's very easy to lose your supply in a day, my experience. Every day I'm constantly just trying to, like, make sure I'm eating my food, make sure I'm drinking my water. Like, I'll just stand there and almost scull a litre. Initially, Harlee was, like, latched onto my nipple and something happened and gave her a fright, and she, like, pulled off, and as she's pulled off, she's, like, ripped my nipple at the same time. This was within the first 7 days of her being born, so she was, like, fully cluster feeding. So that really hurt, and for 2 or 3 days I was only feeding her on my left side and always pumping on my right. Aside from the concerns of my supply, I've loved breastfeeding. I don't find it painful at all. There's definitely times that, like, I woke up and I didn't pump before I went to bed, or pumping's a big one. Pumping. Yeah. God, the sound of that pump. Yeah, breastfeeding is a beautiful thing to do, and it's an amazing bond, and there's times that Harlee will just stop breastfeeding and she just looks up at me and just gives me these massive smiles, and it's just like so much love. Like, I am the most important person in her life, and that's pretty special. There was times earlier on where Luke would give her a bottle. There was a good couple of times that I had asked him to go and give her a bottle because I might have been doing, like, the midnight feed and could barely keep my eyes open. So I got back into bed and was like, I've organised a bottle downstairs, can you please do her next feed, which was like a 3 o'clock feed. But most of the time I love getting up and giving her a feed. It's a chance to give her a cuddle and make sure she's okay, give her a feed, and then put her back down for the rest of her nap, so that's fine. It did get to the stage though that I found anytime that he would give her a bottle, I had to go and pump anyway. So I just found it easier to feed her rather than for him to give her a bottle and for me to go and pump. And I had so much stored milk in the freezer that I didn't need to store the milk at that point. So we kind of stopped giving her bottles because it was just easier for me to feed her. Now, 4 months on, and I want to be away from her for longer than 2 hours, if, like, we're trying to find land at the moment, so on the weekends, like, to be driving around looking for land, or if I really want to go get my hair done and I want to get my eyebrows done and I need to get a pedi, like, all those things take time. And at the moment she's been solely reliant on me to feed her because she forgot she couldn't get the suck right to take a bottle. Because I'm going to start doing some part-time work in the next few weeks, I need her to be taking a bottle, so we bought a different brand. So initially she was having Advent. There's a really long nipple. I have quite small nipples, so that kind of, like, my nipple is nothing like an Advent teat at all. and it's not even really like this other one, but she manages to get it. So I ended up getting a Tommy Tippy bottle, and it took a few goes, but she can now take a bottle, and she'll even take it from me too, which apparently is quite hard for them to do, because they would think like, why am I going to take a bottle when you're right there? But yeah, she'll take a bottle from me, she'll take a bottle from Luke. So when I do need my mum to get her to have a bottle, then she can. Training. God, I thought I would be training so easily. I honestly thought it would be, I would just train, and she would either sleep or someone would look after her. My friend owns a CrossFit gym. If we've gone to that CrossFit gym and Luke has her and she's crying, and I know I can settle her. Like, she'll scream for 10 minutes, and it takes a lot longer for Luke to settle her than me, because I spend most time with her. So if I'm going to try and train and she's screaming and I know I can settle her, I find it hard to just walk away and be like, you know, she's all yours. Like, I'm gonna go and train. Do you think would be, I thought that's what I would be like. So I'd be like, yeah, this is my time, you can have her now. But to know that I can literally hold her and settle her within less than 10 seconds. And then, like, yeah, it's just, I can't enjoy training when I know she's upset. I've been trying to do workouts at home. I've been trying to do workouts at my friend's CrossFit gym, and I've just not been able to find a routine at all. And like, I've lost so much weight since having Harlee. I am down 13.5 kilos. I have not been in the low 60s for a very long time. I'm currently 62.5 kilos. If you want some stats, I was 67 kilos before I fell pregnant with Harlee. The day that I went in to be induced, I was 75 kilos. So I only put on like 8 kilos during my pregnancy, which is good. And then now I'm 62.5, so I'm like 4.5 kilos less than what I was when I fell pregnant. I've lost a lot of muscle, and that obviously, muscle is what weighs the most. And that's what so I'm quite small at the moment, which is cool. Like, confident and happy in my body, but I definitely miss feeling strong. I miss feeling toned and tight and firm. I miss that rush, that endorphin hit. I miss that feeling of training, and we just needed to find something that fits in with us. So what we've done is I've taken over Luke's membership at Jets. Jets is the closest gym to our home. I did have a membership at Fitness First, but I've just recently cancelled that. I'm just going for convenience at the moment, and it literally is the closest gym to home. I'd love to go to Fitness First. I really want to get into Pilates, and I would love to use the sauna and the steam room, but right now I just need to start training. And the easiest way to do that is to go to the gym that is less than 5 minutes from our front door. Luke gets home from work about 3:30, so we'll see him, hang out for a little bit. I'll try and make sure that I'm ready to go, and then I'm going to make sure that I've expressed, and I've got a bottle ready for him to give her afternoon feed, which is hard because I sort of still feed on demand with Harlee. I'm not too strict on a feeding routine. A feeding routine does kind of fit in with a sleep routine, because you kind of want to follow like a feed, play, sleep, so that they're not associating feeding and feeling full and going to sleep. But yeah, if she's hungry and she wants it, then I give it to her. And I always offer a top-up food before she goes to bed anyways. Yeah, we'll see how we go with if she's hungry while I'm waiting for Luke to get home. And she won't take a dummy. Those 3 days training, it'll be a push-pull legs. We'll be going very easy to get into it. One of the things that I actually didn't mention about breastfeeding is in both hands, much worse in my left, but I have carpal tunnel now from breastfeeding. It is significantly worse in my left hand and is significantly more sore at night. So if I can manage to get out the house with Harlee today, I would like to go and get some like braces, or like some something for my wrists, especially at night, just to sort of add some pressure and to stop me from moving it in ways that really hurts it. So yes, I'll be starting off super light, being very kind and gentle to my body. Anything that I'm doing now is going to be better than what I have done for the past 4 months. So there's definitely no ego for me going into this training regime. Yeah, I would like to be able to re-sign back up at Fitness First eventually, even when then she's a bit older and can go into a creche. But right now I really do actually like the fact that Luke can come home from work, have an hour of bonding with her, give her a bottle. I can go have some me time. Look, even if she's at home crying, I know that will probably happen some days. It's really important for me to have some of my own time and to recharge my own batteries and to also just be me, not just be a mum. And me before being a mum was training and I miss it. So it's a priority and I need to really commit to getting back into it because I know it's going to make me feel better. It's important, so I need to make time for it, and I have Luke's support. We have a bit of a system that we're going to try, which hopefully does work, and that's what we're going to do with that. Sex. Wow. It really never crossed my mind that I would potentially... No one has ever spoken to me about, or I've never heard about people having pain after having a vaginal birth. It is quite common and there is actually a name for it. I'll put it on the screen because I can't even pronounce it myself properly, to be honest. Yeah, sort of waited for that like 6 weeks. Like, okay, you can probably get things going now. And yeah, I think I knew that I still didn't really feel right, but we spoke about it, and yeah, I was really open with Luke. I said, look, like I don't really like feel normal. So if we can just like take it slow and yeah, just be kind to my body. And we tried, and I was just like, oh no. It was very, very painful. So then I don't think we tried for like another week after that. And then it was probably, yeah, and then that hurt again, and then we probably didn't try for 2 weeks because I was just like, something's not right. A month ago, I went to the GP and had said, look, it's 3 months after having my baby. I'm in so much pain when we have sex that I don't even want to because it doesn't feel good. And even when we've been really slow and have eventually actually managed to somewhat have some movement there, like it feels great, like it feels good for Luke, but then on the same side he knows it doesn't feel good for me. It's not pleasurable, it's not what it's meant to be. And it's just not nice. Given I probably could have been trying a bit more, but then on the same side as well, like I'm trying to listen to my body, and if it doesn't feel right, then something's not right. I spoke to the GP. She sent me for a ultrasound, so they did a normal ultrasound and then a transverse, so an internal ultrasound. And he was doing the internal, he hit a certain part and I like clenched it. I was like, that hurts. And he goes, oh well, that's up near like your left ovary. I was like, oh, okay, well, they don't tell you anything anyway. So I had that ultrasound, and they also sent me for, well actually, I also was having blood every time I went and did a number 2. It started off like a very minimal amount, and then it started to increase and get more. And so I went to the doctor, and so I'd also had some blood tests done to see what that could be as well. She also checked in like there was no hemorrhoid or anything, so she's not too sure why that was happening. And then after I had been to the doctor, it hasn't happened since, but before that it was happening for like weeks and weeks. So that's annoying. That always seems to happen. Yeah, so I just recently went to the doctors for those 2 things, that there's blood when I go to the toilet, there's a lot of pain when I have sex. My ultrasounds came back fine, everything looks perfect, there's nothing wrong. There was a little bit of calcification on the inside of my womb, but years ago for other health issues, I actually had a Mirena put in, and that Mirena stayed in there, that little device stayed in there for 5 years, so that's probably what the scarring was from. It's from the Mirena, not the birth. Everything looks fine. So she had said, okay, well at this point we'll send you through to see a gynecologist because she didn't really know what to do. And then I just got a letter in the mail. I'll get the letter. Please note your referral has not been accepted by Gold Coast Health. After carefully reviewing your referral, we find that further information is needed to determine the most appropriate appointment to offer you. So to think that I may possibly have to go down a long journey trying to figure out why I'm in so much pain frustrates me in the normal healthcare system. Let's face it, sex is pleasurable and that's what we should, that's a natural thing for us to do as humans. Oh, it's very frustrating. Anyway, so today I actually listened to a podcast from a lady in Chantal Otten, and she is a sexologist. So she's got a degree in scientific sexology as well as psychosexology. One of the things that she's very passionate about is painful sex for women, and one of those big causes is after childbirth. So that's going to be a new journey that I am embarking on, because I just never saw that maybe this would be something that I would have to deal with post birth. Really, in the grand scheme of things, like, I had a very complication-free birth. I had an extremely complication-free pregnancy. I have an extremely beautiful daughter. I am head over my heels in love with her, in love with being a mum. I am more than ever in love with Luke, and I love our family and how much closer of a bond I now have with my own mother. Being a mum has been one of the most life-changing, beautiful things that I have ever experienced, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I absolutely love it every single day. Yes, it has challenges in terms of when I guess they're going through leaps and those kind of things, but like I said, like, I have a very healthy baby. I am in a great mindset. Yeah, I'm sure that the journey for me is only going to get better and better moving forward, and I'll just get this little health thing sorted out. Pregnancy, birth, being a mum, I absolutely love it. If there's anything that I've spoken about in this video that you would want more information on, I obviously am no expert on any of these topics. I am a first-time mum, but I do have my experience, and if my experience is similar to you, or if you can give any support or give your experience. I'm not a big fan on advice. I like to hear people's experiences. So if you want to share your experience with me, or if there's anything else that you just think you would really like to hear from me, or in other ways that we can connect, please leave them in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you've made it this far, please subscribe to the channel because it really supports the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.